Hi, this is Jeff with Challenger Auto, and what I'm going to take a moment to talk to you about is the oil change service. Depending on the mileage interval, we call this a 3K or 5K service. And 3K stands for 3,000 miles, 5K stands for 5,000 miles. Most vehicles nowadays are using synthetic oil, so we are typically looking at a 5,000 mile interval service, which is a really good idea because it simplifies the maintenance plan. So literally then we essentially have 3 maintenance services, a 5, a 15, and a 30, and they just all repeat themselves. But what I really want to talk about in regards to the oil change is the idea of a quickie oil change, a fast 10, 15-minute oil change. Vehicles in, vehicles out, and down the road it goes. And that is really not what we believe in. I say really not, but it's not what we believe in at all. My very first instructor, teacher in this trade, I was 19 years old, and I was taking a very good drivetrain course, and I had a very good instructor, and of course put a lot of faith in him. And I asked him at the end of that semester, what type of job do you recommend that I go to find? And he said, I want to explain this to you. And there was 4 of us students that had this question. And he said, ensure that you stay away from any place that is fast, quick, jiff, anything along those lines. And he said, I want you to understand why. It is impossible for you to be a true professional and be quickie, jiffy, fast. He said, that's impossible. And what happens is that premise leads to failures. It leads to human failure. It leads to the vehicle not being looked over properly, not being put back together properly. And I've never forgotten that. The other reason that we do not believe in the quickie fast oil change is when a vehicle goes to a quick lube lane, and I'm not going to name names, but anything fast, they are only looking at the items on the vehicle that they themselves sell. So maybe it's fluid services, wiper blades, air filters, but that is all they're looking at. And the reason, to me, the oil change is the most important service on a vehicle is, outside of making sure we have good oil in the vehicle and it's changed on a regular basis, it's the only time our vehicles are actually in the shop unless there is a concern, meaning a check engine light, a brake issue, a suspension issue. So as the driver, you should be able to 100% rely on where you're taking your vehicle, that they are going to look your vehicle over head to toe for you. Most of us drive our vehicles. We're not underneath of our vehicles. We're not looking around. We don't know the condition our vehicle is in. And it is my responsibility, my staff's responsibility as being a professional, to make sure we keep our clients in the know-how about their vehicle's condition. So we have our own checkout sheet that we designed. We call it our CI, which is also called a short for courtesy inspection. And when you come into the shop, you'll hear me say that we treat every vehicle like it's mom's vehicle. And the oil change is critical because when it comes in, we are looking the whole vehicle over head to toe. So we're doing a visual of the brake system. We're checking tires for wear. We're checking air pressures. We are checking all fluids. We're looking at the transmission externally, the transmission fluid, if it has a dipstick. We're looking at suspension components. We're checking for hydraulic lines that may have started leaking. We are giving a good detailed report to our clients. And I have a great story to explain why this is so important. We had a client that needed an oil change service, and they were overdue, and they had been going to some quickie places and not being given a report on their vehicle. But it was also because the items that we look over, this is not the quick oil change services forte. And when we looked the vehicle over, we immediately noticed that her rear brake pads were worn down to less than 1/32 of an inch. The tires, there was 2 tires that were just about completely bald, and the brake fluid moisture content was up over 4.5%. Now, those brake pads at 1/32nd, we recommend brake pads being changed at 4/32. Had not the vehicle come in at that moment, those brake pads would have 100% worn probably in the next couple weeks and started grinding into the brake rotor, which would have wound up costing the client more money in regards to the brake service. So that is why we do oil changes this way. An oil change done correctly takes somewhere typically between 30 and 45 minutes. And that's not that long of a time, but when you consider that that's the only time that you get a good report on your vehicle, or at least you should, that should be very important information. I know for me, and I think we can all agree with this, that I do want to keep an eye on my vehicle because it provides me all my transportation for work, for my children, for emergencies, and also it provides me my transportation in regards to, well, I already said work, but in regards to being able to get to work, to make money, etc. So I know as a driver, why I say we treat it like mom's vehicle is every time one of our guys' mom's vehicles comes in, everybody takes care of mom's vehicles, and that's exactly the way we should take care of all of our clients, irregardless of the business that we're in. So when we do an oil change, just to review here at Challenger Auto, we do a full vehicle lookover from a sheet that we designed. We review that with our clients so they have a good report on their vehicle. We also take photographs if there's anything that we see that we need to bring to their attention. That way, sometimes it's easier to explain with a photograph. And that way our clients have a full detailed report of their vehicle. So once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully we'll see you soon at Challenger Auto.